Whoa. Okay. Okay. Welcome back to another week of Unorthodox Logic with Marv. I am glad that you have all tuned back in. I finally got my hair cut. My barber is back from Africa. Shout out to my man, Mike O. He came and make sure he took care of us. You know what I mean? So I always appreciate that. What I noticed is a lot of you, I've been getting raving reviews, and even some opportunities that came about that I cannot wait to reveal. But I've been getting raving reviews about my last episode called Diet Racism. But I'm looking at my YouTube numbers, and it don't look like what it's supposed to look like. So it is important to me, very important to me, that if you truly want to see the growth, you truly want to see true effectiveness, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube, share the YouTube video, because that's where everything goes. I am going to get into the video, so anyone that want to chat can do that. So I'm going to mute this. So I'm in the chat room in YouTube, so you can watch me on YouTube, and you can go ahead and chat with me. And I'll be chatting in the YouTube. I'll respond to comments in the YouTube. I just shared this on all my social media, so I'm gonna just get straight to work. I see somebody's watching now. Shout out to whoever's watching. I don't know who you are. Type something in the chat. Let me know who you are. I can give you a shout out. And then also I noticed I need to move this because this has to move. Let me unlock it and move it. I'm gonna move it here and then lock it here because that's the the Marv Media Network logo is in the right hand corner, which I probably need to go ahead and make that bigger or a different color or something so it can stand out wherever it's at. Nonetheless, I am live. It's a couple things I want to talk about tonight. And first and foremost, I want to share that I'm live right now. Let's see. I gotta tweet this out. One thing I gotta do better is share my own content, to be honest with you. I don't think that's, if you want to know what I feel like I need to improve on, it's making sure I let people know I am who I am and I stand strong on the topics that I speak on, and here's me discussing these things. So tonight, though, we are going to discuss a couple things, just a couple things. And it's kind of like, it's nothing it's not a dated show. So I like to make it to where my stuff can be listened to any point, years from now, months from now, days from now, whatever. Two topics we're going to discuss is the threat to, everyone like to use that quote from Dr. King. I don't even know if he's the originator of it, but he's a person who's commonly said, a threat to injustice anywhere is a threat to injustice everywhere. I don't know the exact quote, but that's what it is. It's something like that. We're going to discuss that. And I'm going to tell you how that correlates to today and how it correlated back when he was talking about it. And also, I want to discuss, what if we was as violent as advertised? Black people, especially black men, are portrayed as these brute, violent, destructive people. It is a false advertisement. I'm not saying that we don't have violent people in our community. I'm not saying we don't have violent people in this world. I'm not saying black people in particular are non-violent people. But we're not as violent as advertised, as portrayed, to be honest. I don't want to say advertisement because advertisements get to sell you. Technically it is advertisement, to be honest with you, because they advertise the fear of black men and they sell everything behind that. So they sell, so they can advertise black men as the epitome of fear, and then that turns into, the attack on black men, attack on the black family, and then that can be used for rate. And then the ratings, ratings go up when you talk race, and then you sell those ratings and you're able to profit it. There's a big profit on marketing black men as the epitome of fear. We're going to go into that. But first, I got to do some good old announcements. Trap Nerd Podcast is doing so well. I recently shared with them our growth in numbers. Let me turn this off. My Beats pill. I recently shared with the group our growth in numbers. I am excited to see how we're growing. I noticed a change in strategy has helped, and I'm excited that that's happening and whatnot. So that's always good. And then also, whoa, that's wild. Who the fuck is this? Hold on. I don't know that guy. Whatever. And then also, I can't be getting distracted mid-show. I do that sometimes. My apologies. Also, I want to make sure y'all go follow Trap Nerd Podcast on all social platforms. I don't know if we're on Twitter. We're not. I don't know if it's a big fan base of Twitter, podcast on Twitter, but maybe we need to get on Twitter. But definitely on YouTube, definitely on Facebook, Spreaker, iTunes, Spotify. We're on Spotify, things of that nature. So make sure you go follow Trap Nerd Podcast. We heating up. The numbers are growing. I love it. So with that being said, let's get into it because I don't want to keep y'all all night. I really don't. I want to get straight to business. Let's talk about it. So we're going to start with, I want to start the threat to injustice because I'm shooting from the hip with that one. I'm going to show you the correlation. Back in the 1960s and 50s and, whatever, when Martin Luther King was running, doing his thing, discussing things and things of that nature. Excuse me, I'm tired, y'all. Martin Luther King said, "A threat to injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." And what he mean, threat to justice anywhere is a threat to injustice everywhere. What he was saying is, if you sit by the wayside and let injustice happen to one group of people, it's a threat to, it's going to validate the injustice happening to everyone. You see what I'm saying? So, when y'all sat by everyone, especially minorities and people of color, when y'all sat by and y'all let the government mistreat black people, foundational black Americans, and y'all let us fight on our own for the most part. Of course, there were some outliers that came and helped. I understand that. I'm not saying everybody did it. But as a group, we got to talk about as a group because we're talking on macro, not micro. We're talking on macro. When we're talking about the group, people of color and minorities sat by the wayside and watched everyone watched what happened to black people in America, foundational black Americans, American descendants of slaves. Y'all watched what happened to them and you did nothing. Martin Luther King said a threat to justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So what happened was y'all sat back and y'all watched this happen to us for years and years and years. Since we got here on those boats, y'all sat and watched injustice happen to us. And we had to climb and claw our way from the mud. We had to do that. We had to bite that bullet, pull ourselves up by the bootstrap, and handle business. And y'all watched. Y'all said, hey, I don't know what to do. I got to stay out of it because I don't want that to be me. So now what's happening, I hate when I get pimples. Now what's happening is that threat to injustice everywhere is starting to happen now. With the current president that we have, we all like to say, hey, he's racist. Hey, he's a xenophobe. He's a homophobe. He's this, he's that. He is a white supremacist. He represents white supremacy. Therefore, when it comes to the religion of, because white supremacy is a religion. They treat it like God. It's a religion. When it comes to the religion of white supremacy, it does not exclude anyone except for Anglo-white men. Anglo-Saxons, which are white men from Europe, Anglo-white men are the only ones who are excluded from white supremacy, and they are not 100% excluded because the moment they get off code, they will neutralize them. Jeffrey Epstein recently was found dead, because I don't want to even call it suicide. He was found dead in his prison cell. Jeffrey Epstein had dirt on all the elite white men, billionaire white men, millionaire white men in America. The Trumps, the Clintons, you name them. He had dirt on all of them. And he specifically said he's going to testify with that information. He said it. He was going to give up information in hopes to getting a lighter sentence. Now, this man was in New York City. He was locked up in New York City in Manhattan. To my knowledge, and I'm 99% sure on this, New York does not have the death penalty. That man was not going to get electrocuted or lethal injection or whatever we use these days. That wasn't happening. California does that. Texas, if I'm not mistaken, does that. Florida does that, if I'm not mistaken. But New York don't. So at worst case scenario, he was just going to spend the rest of his life in jail. And this man was trying to get a lighter sentence or leniency by giving up other people's names. I believe he had names so big that he would have been able to cut a deal that would have gotten him out of jail alive. The guard that was watching him fell asleep for 3 hours and lied on the log and said he was checking on Jeffrey Epstein. His cellmate was moved that same day. It's a lot of fucking coincidences when it came to Jeffrey Epstein. He was put on suicide watch. So this is what I think happened. Let me get my tinfoil hat. Let me see if I got a tinfoil hat around here. Here we go. We'll use this. This is my tinfoil hat. We're going to use this. This is what we're going to use. We're going to use this. My tinfoil hat. Let's put that on now. What I believe happened was they faked an assassination attempt on Jeffrey Epstein. So they act like they were going to kill him. Didn't, kept him alive just to say, hey, he tried to commit suicide already. To plant that seed in the public's mind that Jeffrey Epstein is suicidal and he's guilty of what he's been accused of. He's suicidal and wants to kill himself so he doesn't have to spend the rest of his life in jail. That's the seed they planted. Then they waited a few weeks later, went in and killed this man. I don't know who. Whoever he had information on all coverted to this. They waited until they put that in the public eye, like, hey, yo, he's suicidal because, he's guilty, so he's suicidal. So, that's what's happening. And then they went in and said, hey, he's suicide too. Or, hey, he committed suicide. The problem is the information surrounding the suicide is real shaky. The prison guard falling asleep, his cellmate, his cellmate being moved. So it seems like they isolated him, got the prison guard out of there. They suspended the prison guard because, they don't mind sacrificing small ponds. They don't care. Suspended him. They might even gave him sleep medicine to make him fall asleep for those 3 hours or whatever the case may be, sleep pill, whatever, made him fall asleep. Went in there. Oh, and the cameras that was supposed to be watching his cell, somehow we can't get that footage. So you stop. The public isn't dumb as y'all think we are. Especially my generation. We don't play that. We wholeheartedly were conspiracy theorists. Every one of us of my generation spent hours on YouTube and all types of research in conspiracy theories. So you're not going to sit here and tell us that these strange chains of coincidences happen and opportunity presented himself for him to kill himself. How did he kill himself? We still have yet to get that information. We waiting on that autopsy. I know what's going to happen. They gonna say he hung himself or whatever the case may be. They even released pictures of his dead body because they had to prove to people, he's really dead. So Jeffrey Epstein had information on some higher ups, and they said we cannot let him testify because it would immediately put us all in the spotlight, and they're going to consider him as a credible witness because he had that island, and we're all going to go down. Because pedophilia is prevalent when it comes to these elites. It is. It's something they do. It's something they get away with. It's fucking disgusting. But it is something very prevalent when it comes to these elites. It was so prevalent that this man bought an island outside of the jurisdiction of the United States to go to go indulge in pedophilia. And they call it honey nesting or something of that nature, where they get other people caught up in that kind of shit and say, hey, we got dirt on you, so you're going to do what we say. So why I said that is to basically wrap it. I want to bring it all back because it's important we bring it all back. The threat to injustice is happening because y'all sat and watched black people just get tortured. Essentially, just call it what it is. It's torture. Torture through media, physical torture, torture through the law system, torture financially. Black people have been tortured. So, white supremacists and elites, they don't exonerate you from victim shit. I know everybody don't want to be a victim. Nice. You can talk to yourself and say, hey, man, I am not a victim. And the white supremacist is like, yeah, but your kids we're going to keep them in some cages and we're going to detain all of y'all and we're going to find out who's who. And you a citizen. Yeah, you claim you're a citizen. Get the fuck up out my country. Oh, and by the way, we're going to change the poem for the Statue of Liberty because we don't want all the immigrants. We want the well-to-do ones to come over here, the ones that can stand on their own 2 feet. Those are the ones we really want. We didn't mean we want all you broke motherfuckers that's gonna come over here, ask for social services, and live off the American dollar. You didn't put in no sweat equity to get that. So we don't want y'all in our country. That's the way the white supremacists think. So for y'all to have thought your day of reckoning wasn't coming was what Martin Luther King was trying to tell y'all back in the 60s. He like, look, these motherfuckers don't give a fuck about you, poor mother. Y'all not with them. They did this to make y'all think they was with them so they can get away with what they're doing. But then the day is going to come when they're going to start bringing a hammer down on the rest of y'all. And I'm telling y'all, threat to injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And y'all didn't listen. Y'all got over here and y'all kicked the man while he was down, and y'all helped join into the We Hate Black Men party. And I'm not black, I'm OJ, and I'm not black, I'm Hispanic, and I'm not black, I'm African, I'm not black, I'm this, and I'm not the Akatas, and because it ain't about just your skin. It ain't just skin color. It's your culture. It's where you're from. You non-black Americans got over here talking about y'all don't get a Akata, go get this person. Y'all seen a story where the woman got mad at her white boyfriend because he didn't want to play slave role play with her. He spit on her and got arrested. These are the kind of people who get over here and talk greasy about us. And we just supposed to be okay with that. Foundational Black Americans, when I say us, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, my people, you know. So I'm trying to figure out at what point are y'all going to understand that it's not black people's responsibility to stick our neck out for y'all. You were warned in the 60s. Y'all told us stop crying in the 70s. Y'all said stop committing crime in the 80s. Y'all said go be fathers like you supposed to in the 90s. And here we are in the 2000s, and y'all see this starting to spread. Now y'all like, hey, wait. We're all in this together. Hey, we're all people of color. And we like, no. Because in the 60s, we told y'all. In the 70s, y'all gave us your ass to kiss. In the 80s, y'all turned y'all back. In the 90s, y'all left us high and dry. So in the 2000s, we understand we got to build this fence around our community and protect ourselves and dig in the ground and get what we need for ourselves. And the rest of you that decided to act that way can now get out of our yard, get out of our fence, stop shaking our gate, and hold your own nuts. Because we had to hold our own nuts. We tried that help, asking for help. Hey, can you help us? Hey, no, can you help us? Hey, can you help us? Hey, can you help us? And this is the results we get. Y'all told us, nah, we can't help you. We did it. How come we can come over here in little to no time, pull ourselves up, and get here? Why couldn't y'all do it? Y'all just lazy. Oh, racism is a thing of the past. That's not happening anymore. Y'all just lazy. Y'all don't want to work hard. Y'all got every excuse in the book. That's what y'all told us. Right? Remember? That's what y'all told us. So now we decided, you know what? Okay. We'll do what y'all said. We'll pull ourselves up by the bootstrap. We won't ask for help. We're going to demand what's owed to us, but we won't ask for help. We don't want to team up with y'all no more. We don't want no coalition. We don't want no we all united. We don't want no people of color designation. We want specific designations for ourselves because we are a unique group of people. We are American descendants of slaves. We are foundational Black Americans. That is what we're going to call ourselves. And if you are not of the American descendant of slave, you are not a foundational Black American. Therefore, you ain't with us. So we'll go ahead and do our thing. Y'all go ahead and do your thing. Then the president say shithole countries and who the first people y'all call. Then the president throw everybody. Well, I don't want to say this president because this happened with the previous president as well. This president is just a little different with his ways. The previous president did catch and release. This president is catch and detain. So a little different, but this president said, don't let them in our country. Matter of fact, I'm ordering ICE to go raid every business and house by the Mexican border and every business and house in these sanctuary cities and this and that. Now it's wait. We're people of color. We're all a group. Wait, a threat to justice anywhere is a threat to injustice. Is a threat to justice everywhere. Well, we're already dealing with injustices. We've been dealing with that since the beginning of time. So it's nothing new to us. We've been telling you this was going to happen. You did not listen, and now you think we're going to say, "Oh, all is forgiving. All is forgiving." We're gonna go ahead and forgive you for your crimes and forgive you for what you asked us for, and we'll let everything go, and we'll go ahead and just forgive you on that. No, because in Texas, in Galveston, there was a Black man getting walked by two cops on horses and chains, and where were y'all? Y'all didn't say shit. Y'all like, ooh, that's terrible, but that is Texas. What do you expect? Well, immigration. And cages and shit happening in Texas too, El Paso. What do you expect? Right? It's called reciprocity. We are now reciprocating the energy that you guys are giving us. So if you're giving us, hey, when injustice happened to us, and you're giving us the energy of, hey, there's nothing I can do about it, or hey, what do you want me to do? Or hey, you guys got to kind of deal with that. Hey, you guys should be used to it. You're strong, right? You giving us that energy? Okay. Well, we're going to give you that same energy. We're going to give you that same energy because this is the energy you gave us. We're not doing anything worse than what you're doing. We're doing the exact thing that you're doing. Whatever you do to us, we're doing to you. Therefore, don't come to us with your problems. Because the threat to justice happened to us. It's been happening to us, and we told y'all. Now that it's happening to everybody who's not Anglo, it's help us. Black people are so racist. Black people are so xenophobic. Black people are so homophobic. Black people are so this. Well, when Ed Buck was killing gay black men in his house, yeah, I ain't say nothing. Yeah, I just let that slide. He's still out here free. When y'all families tell y'all get over here, don't bring home a Nakata, a.k.a. a black American, y'all giggle, laugh, and say, no problem, and go get something lily white. When Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, Philando Castile, Sandra Bland, do I need to go forward? They all got murdered. Y'all said we should just comply with the police. Right? Well, the government's kicking indoors, looking for illegals. Y'all need to follow the law. Is what y'all, that's what y'all telling us. That's what y'all telling us. Y'all talking about, oh, they're breaking families up. What the fuck was mass incarceration? Was mass incarceration a family reunion? That's what that was to y'all? Over weed? Over racist crack laws? You get caught with powder cocaine? It's a third of the time if you get caught with hard rock crack? That's family reunion to y'all? Watching pedophiles get less years than a drug dealer? It wasn't no fentanyl and crack. It wasn't no heroin and crack. They wasn't lacing. What are we talking about? I'm trying to figure out what are we talking about. Because y'all didn't have that energy when this shit was happening to us. Y'all sat back and watched it. Y'all praised y'all president for posting a New York Times article about the Central Park Fire, asking for the death penalty. And come to find out they didn't even do it. Still no apology. And I'm not big on I'm not one of them people like, oh, give us an apology. Fuck all that apology shit. It ain't gonna do nothing. What's an apology gonna do? You all right, you admit you wrong, next. What's next now? Okay. You admit you fucked up, now what? Nothing. Nothing's gonna happen after that. So I don't need no pity ass apology. I need an apology followed by action. So like I said, a threat to justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Y'all let injustices happen. Y'all let them slide. Y'all didn't defend them. Y'all didn't go out here and march for them. Y'all didn't do shit. And now the wealth now is being spread out. It's like, wait, black people help us. Wait. No. We ain't helping nothing. We are not helping anything. No. And y'all can continue to get mad because what's happening is they trying to find their way around the black vote because they know black people ain't playing with them no more. So now what they trying to do is, like I said last show, the Bernie Sanders, the Joe Bidens, they're trying to pull the diet racism. They like, look, Trump is Pepsi. We diet Pepsi though. So I know some of y'all don't want to be, I know some of y'all might have y'all little black friends and y'all work around black people and y'all like the hip hop culture, but y'all still a little shaky on that. Come, you can fuck with me. It won't look like that. It won't look like that public perception. You can come fuck with us. Give us your vote. You feel me? You won't look crazy. You can still do your thing like you do, but you won't look as crazy if you go fuck with him. So we're going to give you that other option. That's what they're opting for. They're opting for those dyed races. Those I ain't 10 toes down races, but I'm about 7. I'm about 5. That's the ones they looking to grab up. Because they know the black vote has been taken away from them and it's going to actually involve some type of action to get it back. Not just talking, not going to churches and getting preachers to preach to the congregation and tell them who to vote for. It won't work. They're going to have to give something tangible to foundational black Americans or they will not get that vote. And they like, well, fuck that. I'm not doing that at all. That's political suicide. I'm going to go try for this dire racism. Because we ain't never do nothing for them niggas anyway. We ain't do nothing for them. We just tell them we was going to do something for them. We might throw them, a couple crumbs off the biscuit, but that's about it. We ain't really never did nothing for these motherfuckers in some years. So, fuck them. We're not going to do nothing for them now. We're going to go check with these dire racists. Because people, what it is in the beginning of 2016, most people's like, he's just American. Trump's not racist. And then over these past 3 years, they like, shit, this motherfucker a little wild. I can't bring myself to vote for him this year, but I don't wholeheartedly disagree with him. But some shit, he looked too crazy, and I can't be out right here. I was wrong. He tricked me. He said it was for me to. Now they're gonna go look for somebody else, and that diet race is gonna slide along like, hey, look, I'm the likable version of Trump. I'm not as extreme as Trump. I'm not as outspoken as Trump. Vote for me. And hey, guess what? Look. You won't look racist. You can vote for me and not look racist. I can do that for you. That's what they're vying for. That's why Kamala Harris doesn't have a chance, because these motherfuckers is still racist. They just don't want to look racist. So they need to find somebody that makes them comfortable in their racism. Kamala Harris ain't going to be able to do that. She's, for one, black, and she's a woman. They like, hell no. They chose Trump over Hillary, a white woman. Motherfuckers is not about to put a black woman in office. Hell no. And she has the makeup to meet them. If she was a white man, oh my God, it'd be a runaway. She would win in a runaway. With her past record, her past policies, she's advocating for things now that look good, but if she was a white man, she'd be a runaway for the Democratic nomination, but she's not. And then it kind of might be too late for Bernie, so it's like they look like they about to run with Biden, and he just keep fucking up, and Trump just sitting back like, look at this shit show. I'm gonna just walk my ass back in his office. Trump got 53 million votes this year, or 52 or 53 million votes in 2016. He's gonna get 60. 60 to 65 in 2020. He's going to smoke whoever's the Democrat nomination. There's no one on the ballot that's going to be able to beat Trump. He's going to smoke them with ease. And everybody's going to fall out and say they're going to be depressed for the next 4 years. And I'm going to sit back and be like, look, this country is what this country is. I'm glad he got another 4 years. I need some more people to come on out the closet. I need more people to show their true colors so we can really dig this shit up by the root. We have to dig it up by the root, or it's not going to do anything for us. So, no, I'm not a Trump supporter, but I don't cry over spilled milk. I don't cry if he gets reelected. It's work to be done. It just is. Now, I don't want to harp too much on that. I don't want to harp on too much on that because that threat to injustice thing is very, 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 very important. That threat to injustice is important. Now, it's some things that's important. Like I said, black people, black men in particular, are advertised to the American middle class, to middle America, as violent, vitriol, dangerous people who need to all be either killed or locked up or contained. 3 different options: killed, locked up, or contained in different neighborhood. Don't live next to it. They advertise that because It sells like a motherfucker. Hey, you don't want people to break in your house? Buy ADT. Hey, you don't want people to break in your house? Buy these guns. Hey, these people, you don't want these people in your neighborhood, do you? Let's get a neighborhood watch. Let's make ourselves a sundown town. It's several different things that they use as validation to basically hold back black people. It's several different things that they use as justification for the imprisonment of black people and for the mistreatment of black people. It's several different things they use. That's why you can see a man get walked, a mentally disabled man get handcuffed and walked through the streets of Texas by two cops on horses. The racial symbolization of that in itself is to continue to remind black people. That's not some shit that happens on an accident. It's to continue to remind black people. We don't care if they weak. We don't care if they feeble. We don't care if they man, woman, or child. You niggas need to stay in your place and let us remind you every damn week. Here's something else. Here's something else. Here's this. Here's that. Here's this. Oh, wait. Let's talk about the language they love to use in the media. When those white supremacists was in El Paso and Dayton, Texas, they started talking about kids this, kid that, and these motherfuckers was over the age of 18. When Tamir Rice, 12-year-old boy, got murdered in cold blood by a race soldier disguising himself as a police officer. When he got murdered in cold blood, they called him a young man. A 12-year-old boy was called a young man. 18, 21, 22-year-old men are called a young kid or just a kid or this young teen or old. Like, what are we? That is the media that like to play these little word semantic games when it comes to these white supremacists. The media needs to keep this thing going. They got to feed this gravy train. And as long as they continue to make black men the cold criminals, as long as they continue to make black men those guys in masks that's going to kick your door in, break into your house, steal your car, they're going to continue to sell shit like hot cakes. Everything sells when it comes to this race shit. Ratings go up when you come to this race shit. Look at Tommy Lauren. All she got to do is every time she speak about Jay-Z is call him a former drug dealer, not the billionaire success mogul that he is. Call him a former drug dealer, and every black blog post her shit. Every black blog posts her shit and gets those people to go to her page and they go watch her videos and bring her numbers through the roof. Every time. It's so easy to get black people. Candace Owens got on because she said Beyonce was tacky for doing a halftime show. Tommy Lauren got on because she said Beyonce was tacky for doing a halftime show. And they didn't get on from white people. They got on because black people gave them that power. Then all these black people went to their platforms. Then black people started debating them on Twitter, started engaging them, bringing their follow count up, everything. All you have to do is offend black society, and it's a marketing tool that will get you to where you need to go. Black or white, it don't matter who you are. All you got to do is offend some, say something greasy about some black icons, especially a Jay-Z and Beyonce. You out of here. You can get on with Fox News. You can get on with whoever. They're going to put you on, give you some money, and let you continue to talk your shit. Then you're going to write a book, sell some books, go on some book tours, go on some book lectures, keep saying them same talking points. Make sure you update them as society goes on. You just move the target to whoever needs to be moved to. Call out a Cardi B because she went and sat with Bernie. Whatever you need to do. You keep doing that kind of shit, and black people going to keep putting you on their blogs and keep getting you all this free publicity. Black people do this shit. Black blogs do this shit. Not foundational black American ran blogs. You got to remember, these black blogs are not ran by foundational black Americans. These are first and second generation immigrants. Because black foundational black Americans, they don't, no, we're not doing this with you. Crazy? Come on, man. No. Won't happen. So it just looks like something that is not. You feel what I'm saying? It looks like a lot of y'all are not understanding it because I told you y'all scared. And that's why we have to make sure we have new black media to control our own narratives. We have to stop feeding into this outrage culture, because that's all it is. It's just like, hey, go outrage some black people. They'll be mad at you for a day or two. They'll threaten you and say all this, but they're not a real threat. They're not really going to do anything. They're just going to talk shit to you online. You can handle that, or you can mute their ass and continue to go forward. You're going to gain the real followers with the people who's going to agree with that sentiment that you said. Then they're going to follow you on the low. They're going to start supporting you on the low, submitting shit to your Patreon. Oh, they're going to send you little donations. Get a little Amazon wish list. They'll go ahead and buy you some shit. Oh, yeah, and then you're going to get on TV, say that same talk. Be a well-spoken one. Ooh. Be a well-spoken one? Oh. They get you on right there. That's all that needs to happen. But in summation, because I want to wrap this show up. I told you I wasn't going to be too long. I don't like keeping y'all too long. I like to just get my points across. In summation, if we were as violent and as dangerous as we were advertised, America would truly be in danger. They would have to bring in the U.S. Marshals. They would have to bring in the National Guard. You have to go into full lockdown. We have to go into martial law, essentially, if black people were as dangerous as advertised, because we have a true enemy. We know who the enemy are. We're just not as dangerous as y'all think we are. We're not as violent as y'all portray us to be. We're not as angry, as vengeful as y'all portray us to be. Because y'all keep telling these people, don't do that, because they're going to come and they're going to start doing it. If we were really that way, it would have happened by now. We had plenty of fuel for it to happen, trust me. It would have happened by now. But we're just not vengeful like that. If we truly wanted revenge, we would have already went after it by now. But we're just not in it. We don't have that kind of hate in our hearts. But it is some of us that are warriors, that will speak on it, that will get on these front lines, that will go to these rallies, that will put together rallies, that will start marching for justice. See, I'm more of I like to do stuff behind the scenes, and when it's time to get on these streets and hit the ground running, I hit the ground running. I like to go ask questions behind the scenes. How come this person hasn't been arrested? Like when a young little girl, 3-month-old girl, was murdered by her babysitter. I went behind the scenes, and I'm like, whoa, what is going on? What's taking so long with this prosecution? And I was told they're getting the evidence together, and they're going to find out who did it, and arrest will be made within, as soon as they can. Now, it took them some months, but the arrest was made, the arraignment was made, and the charges were put up. I told y'all in one of my episodes, it's called First Degree Trickery. Go listen to that. Go back and listen to First Degree Trickery. I tell y'all, when they start charging people with first degree murder and stuff like that, that's premeditated murder. That's a false charge. That's like, I know y'all may think that's a hard charge to beat. It's a hard charge to actually prove. So when you see somebody getting charged with first degree murder on a murder that doesn't look like it was premeditated, like if a motherfucker ain't Jeffrey Dahmer, if a motherfucker ain't what's the joint with Zac Efron or whatever that show, the movie I was just watching, what's his name? Can't think of his name. If a motherfucker didn't premeditate the murder, or that's all it is. Premeditated murder is first degree. Person didn't plan out the murder, plan out an escape route, plan out where they dumped the body. They can't prove that first degree murder shit. So when they charge people with first degree murder, I know it's a trick. When they charge a cop with first degree murder for killing somebody, y'all like seeing that because they're like, oh yeah, because first degree murder carries a life sentence and it carries a death penalty and it carries I'm like, this motherfucker about to get off. Go listen to First Degree Trickery where I break that shit all the way down. Now when it's second degree murder like they charged her with, see, it ain't premeditated, but you damn sure enough did that shit on purpose. It ain't manslaughter. You ain't do it on accident. Involuntary manslaughter, some shit like that. You ain't do it on accident. This shit was done on purpose. Maybe you got in a fit of rage. Maybe you got, maybe you lost, so whatever the case may be. But you did that shit on purpose. That's what second degree murder is for. That's why when I don't see cops get charged with second degree murder, I know for a fact they're looking to it needs to be manslaughter or second degree murder. Manslaughter is basically third degree murder. If it's not one of those two, as soon as they say first degree, I already know what they're doing. They're like, I'm like, ain't no jury on this planet gonna believe that a cop woke up, thought about a person, went out, killed that person, found out where they dumped the body. No, you're not gonna convince any jury in the planet to do no shit like that. But you can prove second degree. Ooh, you can prove second degree. And you can prove manslaughter. Ooh, assault. Ooh, you can do it all. You can get those ones. Because it don't have to be premeditated. It could be like, look, you lost your temper. You got to be responsible for that action. You see what I'm saying? That's where you got to be careful at. That's where it matters. So go listen to First Degree Trickery. Leave me your comments. Send me your reviews. Tell me what you think. Let's talk publicly. I would love if you guys talk about it publicly, not behind the scenes. Like, oh, yeah, I heard your episode. That shit was cool. So I love that shit. Yo, that's dope. Post that shit. Repost it. I need them. I need all them views. Repost my shit. You hear me? But until next week, guys, I appreciate everyone for their support. Be on the lookout for some new announcements and some things that I'm doing. If you're out in the Milwaukee area, go to Hip Hop Week. Go to Hip Hop Week. Go to Hip Hop Week. Go to Hip Hop Week with MKE. The lineup is crazy. They got Megan Thee Stallion, Kevin Gates, Scarface. They got the legendary Hip Hop Legends Award. It's a dope event. I wish I can go out there, but as y'all know, Simone is pregnant. She's high risk. She's been out of work since March, so I got to make sure I'm always close by at the drop of a hat in case something goes wrong, which, we hoping nothing goes wrong, but I got to stay close to her at this point. And we almost done. We about 9 weeks out. So once that's over with, everything's good, I can start shaking and moving again. So I look forward to talking to y'all next week. If you got some questions for me, any topics you want me to cover, hit me up at Marv Crittenden on all social media networks. There we go. Unorthodox Logic with Marv on Facebook, Marv Media Network on all social media networks. I'm out of here. Peace.